Here we are. Good morning. I missed the countdown timer this morning, and it's quite apt considering the words that I've got up. I've got to remember I've got to point that direction. Imperfect action. And this phrase was prompted by a conversation with my partner, and she's very much a doer. She's very much figure things out, try it, put it to market, see the response, get the feedback. And I'm all for the feedback loop in life. And just really sometimes we can sit on these ideas for a while. And a particular type of personality that I am, when we talk about our human design, something I'll kind of tap into a little bit in a minute, can sometimes be a bit of an Achilles heel. Hence why I think the phrase imperfect action is a really good topic to dig into this morning for a few minutes. I've set the alarm, so if you're here watching, if you're watching on replay, you'll kind of know that it goes off in 10 minutes time. And I'm not pitching anything at all. Sure, I want to promote my services through conscious development and all the things that relate to the conscious development map and creating alignment in your worlds. There's a QR code on the screen. Scan that. You can get my details on there. Connect. If you'd like to have a conversation beyond these lives, then by all means, connect with me. So imperfect action. It's really interesting because we have many ideas and we have many things that we want to bring to fruition, but sometimes we're paralyzed by, is it wrapped up in the right way? What will the market perceive? How will that relationship respond to me kind of putting my inputs into that space? Whatever it is, if we've got a community interest that we're involved with, if we're part of a networking group. And I think we can sit on these ideas and these methods and these processes, and they can never come to fruition because we're looking for that perfect scenario. This morning was a prime example. I've literally, just before it's gone live, I've just sat down. I wrote, 8 seconds, click. No, I don't have these scripted at all. I know the subjects that I want to talk about, and I know the subjects I want to share with you. And hopefully over time, this will start to build. Now, this week, I didn't do an episode on Tuesday, and that would have been episode number 7. This is now episode number 7. And I was a little bit peeved with myself because I had an appointment where I had to be, an hour away in the car. And I thought, well, actually, I could have done it in the car park, and the situation wasn't right. So I was asking myself, is that an excuse, or was I looking for that perfect situation to do it? Now, in reality, it wouldn't have worked. The traffic was a little bit chaotic. As chaotic as it can be here in Cornwall. We don't really get rush hours, okay? So I appreciate the people in the cities that have rush hours. I think our most rush hours is when we have many tractors on the road or they're moving animals along the road. I think that's a little bit congested at times with caravans coming down in the season. Anyway, I digress. But the point being is, I was looking for reason in that moment. Was I making an excuse because it wasn't a perfect scenario, or was I actually being realistic and knowing I couldn't deliver something? In that moment, I couldn't deliver it. I would have been too rushed. It would have been, it just wouldn't have been appropriate. So there are those times when inaction is the right thing to do. But yet equally, what I would suggest is, even if you think about when I reference the conscious development map, and I talk about the 5 key areas of going from yourself, identity, through well-being, relationships, your personal economy, your financial situation, and your contribution, your legacy, your life fulfillment, what we're here for. That alignment is a real clear focus of myself and my clients when we're doing the work. And we use it as a tool, as a framework to build on. And people can come into that space when we start to develop these theories, that all these principles for living an aligned life, with many things kind of figured out. And it depends where they are in their timeline of life. But equally, there's some elements that aren't really gelling with others. And I think they're paralyzed sometimes to make that change, because sometimes inevitably what it means is removing something from that world in order to bring something else in. It's that kind of prosperity vacuum that you operate in, is that there's only so much that we can take into our world. There's only so much capacity we can have where we can deliver ourselves to the world, whether it's through how we show up as human beings, the business, our service offerings, our careers, whatever it is. So if we think about when we're working on ourselves, and for instance, let's take our one of the areas which is on the map is personal economy, our financial situation, our business, our career. The services that I wanted to promote in the past, and my partner was going, well, why aren't you promoting them? Because I was waiting for that perfect scenario, that perfect moment. And when I referred to human design, I am a 5-1. And if anyone knows anything about human design, and I know little elements of it as well, is that we like the detail. We're inquiring. We ask the questions. We're curious by nature, which is why I figured out I was always the one asking questions as a kid. Like, annoying. I'm the younger brother of 3. And always will be the younger brother of three, and always asking those questions, and why does this work, and how can we get a better outcome from it, which in relation to development, coaching and mentoring is a really good skill to have, and a natural kind of imprint that works really, really well. But what can happen is that it can trip me up when I want to really implement things, because the universe just wants us to present something to it. It will let us know through feedback whether that's the right path, however you determine that and whatever context, or whether it isn't. You know, what outcome are you going to get? But if we stand there paralyzed by inaction, we're not getting that feedback. And the universe is almost sat there going, come on, what are you going to do? Where's this plan? Where's this action? I'm waiting to give you the feedback, but you're not even taking that first step. So when we talk about imperfect inaction, it is one step, then another, then another, then another, and continually building that strength, that muscle, that resilience, that tenacity, that ability to clearly deliver to the world something that is unique to you and will be unique for those people that you serve. And there's a great phrase that I heard years ago. I think it's a biblical reference, and it's service to many leads to greatness. Okay. And however you quantify that, however you quantify greatness, whatever it is in your world that you want to be remembered for. Now, for me personally, it's passing on lessons. It's sharing the things that I do here now. Now, right now, because I'm in the early days of this, I may look back in 12 months' time and go, okay, there's more people than just myself listening to this or looking back at it. And depending on when you see this, because who knows how long this information stays around for, and how long the timing is sometimes for people to stumble upon the things that we share. You know, so for me, it's passing on those lessons. And I'm just checking the time here as well. An alarm will go off. If you don't know that, I don't talk beyond the 10 minutes. I do a quick sign off, obviously, when the alarm goes off. But I'm respecting your time. And maybe you brought a cuppa, as I said in my post as well. Literally just made that before I sat down. So this phrase, imperfect action. If you think about something you want to do, okay, what is it actually that is stopping you doing it? Is it yourself? Is it because you believe you haven't got all the resources there? Is it because of someone else's narratives? You shouldn't do that. When we talk about the should brigade, people that should all over you, should ideally could be removed from our language. Okay. Other people's views and opinions of what you do and how you should do it. It's their lens. They're not looking at it from your perspective. Okay, so all the things, what are in your control, what's in your control? I mean, we know this phrase, control the controllables. Is it the meanings that you're giving things? I couldn't possibly say that to them. I couldn't possibly have that conversation. But what if you did have that conversation? What if you did actually stop and go, I need to say this to you, with you, and alongside you, because whilst it's in my head, I'm going over it and I'm going over it and I'm going over it. And all it's doing is creating inner anxiety. My cortisol levels are rising. My stress is across all elements of my life is just massively rising. And I need to get that out, because this comes down to fundamentally living your truths. Okay, and my whole model is about this, is when we come back to that core essence of self, our mindset, our identity, our energy, our values and our beliefs. If we are not living a life true to ourselves, at some point, something will go pop, bang, break, hiss, whatever, sometimes cataclysmically, sometimes subtly over time, and then it ramps up and something hits you, bang, like a steam train. Okay, and this is this element of figuring out yourself through all the things that you do, as I talk about this alignment in the conscious development map. And the universe wants us to embrace imperfect action. So many people are into AI these days. My partner is an expert in the AI field with what she does to deliver her energetics work through all the things that she does. But I'm switching for this moment. I'm switching those two letters around. This IA. Most people zig. I like to zag. Okay, so it's IA. It's that imperfect action. Think about something today that you could do that you've been putting off. You know, what's the worst case scenario that can happen? Really? Are you thinking about it in your head? Are you making it up in your head? Talk about the awkward conversation scenario. You can actually say to someone, look, I've been wanting to have this conversation for a while, but I was in fear of how you may be responding. And a compassionate human being, a compassionate being the important word here, would go, don't be silly. Let's have that conversation. Now that's 10 minutes up. So what could you possibly do today that could encourage you to continue this imperfect action route? Okay, I'm Martin. Conscious development is my thing. Scan the QR code. I'll be back again on Tuesday, and it's Tuesdays and Thursdays, unless I have other prior appointments, 8 o'clock BST. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your morning cuppa, and I'll see you next time.